we're going to react to 30 forgotten old-fashioned Halloween treats no one makes anymore. If you guys are interested in sharing some videos for me to react to, feel free to join our Discord server at discord.gg/ChaldeaGurus. We'd be happy to have you there.
Remember when Halloween bags held popcorn balls,
Get your popcorn.
caramel apples, and even homemade fudge? Back then, neighbors handed out sweets wrapped in wax paper instead of factory wrappers. So why do those scratch-made Halloween treats feel like they've vanished from the porch light forever? Molasses popcorn balls. Nothing said Halloween like Mama standing at the stove, stirring molasses and sugar until it bubbled into a sticky, dark syrup. The sweet, smoky smell drifted through the house,
His voice is
clinging to curtains and making every kid in the neighborhood wander toward the porch. Once the syrup hit just the
Is this supposed to be
stage,
creepy?
she poured it over a mountain of popcorn, the kernels crackling as if they were alive. Buttered hands were the only defense, and Mama worked fast, scooping up handfuls of
That
the
would
hot
hurt
mixture
in the hands.
and shaping it into glossy, amber-colored balls. Kids knew better than to touch them too soon. You'd burn your fingertips, but the temptation was almost unbearable. Each ball went into wax paper or a brown lunch sack, tied.
So I never really got to experience this. I don't know if you guys too. But when it comes to homemade foods, I usually have to say like, no thank you. Especially since I have an allergy. It's actually been recommended that I don't eat anything that's been homemade and only eat something that's like packaged so I know what's in it. And it's not to be rude to the person who made it, and I could probably only imagine it tastes better than what you could get at the store, but I wish I got to experience stuff like that, you know? But on the safe side too, though, you don't want to take anything that's been opened from a stranger, so.
With a piece of string if Mama was feeling fancy. By the end of the night, the kitchen table looked like a lineup of sugary cannonballs.
Have a good night.
Waiting for trick-or-treaters. They were heavy enough to weigh down a candy sack and sticky enough to glue your lips together. But no one complained. On the schoolyard the next day, popcorn balls were prime trading goods, worth 2 cookies, a comic book, or even a prized pack of baseball cards. More than just candy, they were a Southern Halloween tradition and completely unforgettable. Caramel apples on sticks. If there was ever a showstopper on Halloween night,
oh
it was a
man,
shiny
these
caramel
things.
apple dripping with sticky
I
sweetness.
remember my very first
Mama
caramel
didn't buy
apple,
those little
dude.
cellophane-wrapped kits
Do you
at the
guys remember
grocery
eating
store.
your first
She
caramel
made her own
apple?
caramel the old-fashioned way.
I was so
melting
scared of
sugar,
losing my
butter, and
teeth.
Karo syrup until it turned golden and
So
thick.
I only eat the apple
whole kitchen
sliced
smelled
up
like
and
a
then I
candy
dip
shop.
it in
When the
caramel if I
syrup
ever
was
have
ready,
it.
she dunked Tart Orchard apples one by one, spearing them with popsicle sticks, or even twigs from the yard if she
You
had to
never had
improvise.
one?
Some apples got rolled and crushed.
They have
peanuts,
some like pre-made
others
at the
in
store.
shredded coconut, and the fancy
A lot of
ones
times
might
they
be
have
drizzled
nuts
with
in 'em,
chocolate
so I
if
can't
Mama
have
had a
'em.
spare Hershey bar tucked away.
Yeah,
The
I'm not
glossy
huge on
coating
caramel
cracked when you
either.
bit in, leaving caramel stuck to your cheeks. and
Caramel
apples
dipped apple
wobbling on their
slices though.
sticks. Kids would
But
try to eat them
caramel
gracefully, but before long, everyone's
dipped like
faces
full
were
apple, I
smeared
don't
with
like it
sugar
too
and
much because
laughter.
it's like when you know.
Trick-or-treat bags got heavier carrying
Hold
them
on.
home.
When you dip the apple in caramel, it's usually like hot. So, and if you're not careful, you're kind of like burning the surface of the apple and it becomes mushy. And I don't like mushy. I don't like applesauce or stuff like that. I don't like that.
And sometimes, the apples didn't even make it past the sidewalk before the first bite. Caramel apples weren't just candy.
You were in college
They
when you
were a
bought it from an
sticky
old
badge
lady
of
from a
Southern
stand?
Halloween pride.
Oh, was it homemade by them?
Pralines. For
Pralines,
Southern
yeah,
mamas,
I've never had
They were
this.
a part of their own childhood memories. Halloween night gave them an excuse to stir up a batch, and the whole process was
Wait, let's do something fun. Wait, when they mention a new snack, one you'd bite, 2 you'd fight. No, you'd run. Nah, 1 if you want it. Press 1 in the chat if you want it.
half science experiment, half art. Mama would mix
think
brown
it's like a
sugar,
brittle,
cream, and
right?
pecans in her heaviest pot.
Because
stirring
I
with the
see
patience of
praline
Joe
for like
until the
coffee
mixture
options
bubbled into
for
a
flavor.
molten swirl. You had to know just when to pull it off the heat, or you'd end up with a pan of cement instead of candy. Spoonfuls were dropped onto buttered wax paper, cooling into little discs that were soft
Oh,
in the center,
Rocco.
but crumbly around the edges. Every bite was a contrast.
They look like
The
frogs
melt of
or
sugar giving way
toads.
to the crunch of roasted pecans. Some mamas added a dash of vanilla, while others swore by a pinch of cinnamon. But every family had their
Is it
secret
time
twist.
to have a caramel apple,
Wrapped up
Rocco?
and handed to wide-eyed kids at the door, pralines were a luxury. Something you didn't trade
Wait.
on the schoolyard. Their secret twist. Wrapped up and handed to wide-eyed
Okay, it was a
kids
mask.
at the door,
I was so scared. I was
pralines
like,
were a luxury. Something
I
you didn't
forgot. We're
trade
watching
on
a
the
Halloween
schoolyard unless you were
Halloween
desperate.
video.
They weren't just treats. They were proof that Southern generosity made its way into every holiday. Coconut haystacks. While other kids up north might have gotten licorice
Coconut.
or taffy, Southern kids sometimes found
I
coconut
wasn't too
haystacks
thrilled
waiting in
with
their
the
treat
coconut
bags.
flakes,
These weren't
even if
fancy
it's
confections,
toasted.
just
I'd
shredded coconut
pass.
bound together with sugar syrup or melted chocolate, dropped by the spoonful onto wax paper.
Okay, yeah, one for
But
smash,
they
two
looked
for
like
pass.
tiny hay piles fresh from the October fields, and that gave them their
Yeah,
charm.
2 for pass.
Mama could whip up a whole batch in no time, stretching a bag of coconut into dozens of bite-sized sweets. The texture was half the fun. Chewy, stringy, and sweet enough to stick between
No,
your teeth
pass
for
on the
hours.
coconuts.
Sometimes she tinted them orange with food coloring, or
I-
sprinkled a few with cocoa powder, just to keep things
It
interesting.
just feels weird,
They
the
weren't flashy.
texture.
But they fit the season perfectly, echoing the hay rides and harvest festivals that marked fall in the South. A bag
They
with
feel
even
hard
one
to
haystack
eat,
tucked
you know?
inside felt like a lucky find, proof that simple things could still
They
be
get stuck in your
treasures.
teeth. Yeah, that sucks.
Homemade divinity. Nothing
Divinity?
tested a Southern mama's patience quite like divinity, but when she
Like
pulled
meringue?
it off, it was a masterpiece. Halloween was the perfect excuse to make a batch, since the cooler weather gave the candy a fighting chance to set. Mama would beat egg whites until stiff, then slowly drizzle in hot sugar syrup, her arm aching from the hand mixer humming on the counter. The glossy mixture turned into airy clouds that she dropped by spoonfuls onto wax paper, each one soft, pillowy, and impossibly sweet.
Okay.
A pecan half pressed into the top
Ouch, fuck.
gave it a
No,
little
I gotta
Southern
pass.
signature, though some mamas dyed the candy orange or purple to match the holiday spirit. Divinity had a reputation for being temperamental. Make it on a humid day, and you'd have a pan of sticky soup.
It's like,
But when it worked, it was the prettiest treat on the table.
what is this?
Light as air, melt in your mouth, and
Like
so
taffy?
sweet it made your teeth ache. Divinity lived up to its name.
No.
Getting a
Pass.
piece in your
2
Halloween bag was like
pass.
finding a ghost. Rare, delicate, and gone in a blink. Taffy pulls. If Halloween
Taffy
fell on a cool
pulls.
evening, you could bet on a taffy pull happening in somebody's kitchen. Mama would boil sugar, butter, and flavoring. Peppermint if she had it. Or maybe a splash of vanilla.
Okay, maybe this
Until
one.
it hit that glossy, molten stage. Then she'd pour it onto greased platters and wait just long enough so you didn't scorch your hands. That's when the fun
They
began.
technically make
Buttered
this
fingers
candy
grabbed
still,
the
right?
hot candy and pulled it wide, folding and stretching again and again until it turned pale and glossy. Kids laughed as the sticky ropes tangled, some snapping in half and flying across the room. Strands of
try
taffy
it.
draped over chair backs or landed on aprons, but nobody minded. It was all part of the tradition. Once cut into bite-sized pieces and wrapped in wax paper, the candy hardened into chewy nuggets that carried the flavor of the evening's fun. Taffy pulls weren't just about the sweets. They were about neighbors crowded into a kitchen, kids shrieking with sticky hands, and the memory of candy that came from your own laughter. and
Ah,
labor.
I don't want sticky shit all over
Cornflake peanut butter
those.
bars.
Ah,
In the South,
pass.
nothing went to waste, and that included the last cup of cornflakes rattling around in the box.
there's so
Mama
many
would heat
peanut
butter, sugar,
options.
and Caro syrup in a saucepan until it bubbled.
Why are there so
Then
many
pour it
peanut
over crushed
options?
flakes to make a chewy, crunchy bar. They were pressed into
You'd all
pans,
smash?
sliced into squares.
Have
and
another one
sometimes
for me.
topped with a drizzle of melted chocolate if Mama felt generous. These bars held together just long enough to get sticky fingers all over your trick-or-treat bag. Kids loved the mix of salty peanut butter and sugary crunch, and Mamas loved that they could make a whole pan for pennies.
I mean, it's like
Wrapped
a
in
Rice
wax
Krispie
paper
treat,
squares, They
right?
stacked neatly into paper sacks for handing out at the door. They
You
weren't
can eat
glamorous,
another one
but
for
they
me,
were hearty little
Gudako.
treats, born of thrift and a sweet tooth working together. On Halloween night, finding one in your bag felt like getting a homemade candy bar. with southern practicality baked right in. Peanut or pecan brittle.
Another
No candy
peanut.
announced itself with more authority than brittle.
Two.
You could hear it crack from across the room when Mama broke the cooled sheet into shards. She'd start by simmering sugar, corn syrup, and butter until it bubbled, then stir in a fistful of roasted peanuts, or pecans if she wanted
Another
to
one
show
for
off.
chat.
The hot mixture
I don't
was
know. I'm
poured
scared of
onto a
like
buttered
breaking my
pan,
teeth to this
spreading
kind of
thin into a
food.
shiny amber sheet. Once cooled,
Cause
it
like when
shattered
something
into
is hard, I
jagged
just kind of like
pieces that cut
let
the
it
roof of your
melt.
mouth if you weren't
You know what I
careful.
mean? Like let it sit
Kids
in your
loved
mouth
crunching it
like a
between their
Jolly
teeth,
Rancher.
even though it threatened to
Like
loosen a
you
filling.
don't chew Jolly Ranchers,
brittle
right?
gleamed
Like
like
the hard
stained
candy.
glass
I
in
hope
the
you don't
porch
do that,
light,
chat.
and wrapped in wax paper,
Be sure you brush your teeth
it
tonight.
became a prized Halloween treasure. Some families swore by peanut brittle,
Pretzels?
others
Okay,
by
you know what?
pecan.
Pretzels is pretty
But either way,
okay.
it was the kind of treat you savored slowly, piece by sharp, sweet piece. Pumpkin bread wrapped in foil. Every so
Ivy's
often,
just punching
a mama
air
would
right
go
now.
the extra mile and bake loaves of pumpkin bread.
Pumpkin
kind heavy
bread?
with cinnamon, nutmeg, and clove. She'd slice thick squares,
Is nutmeg
wrap
nut?
them in wax paper or aluminum foil, and hand them out like little parcels of autumn. The bread was moist, spiced, and sometimes studded with
This looks
raisins or
good.
walnuts, depending on
Fuck.
what was in the pantry.
Two, I
Trick-or-treat
can't. I
bags
can't
sagged
risk
a
the
little heavier,
walnut.
with those slices tucked inside. And more than one kid couldn't resist unwrapping theirs on the walk home. The smell alone was enough to stop you in your tracks. Warm pumpkin mingling with fall
Is it
spices
spice?
in a way
Okay.
no store-bought snack
I don't know
could
anything about
touch.
baking.
Sharing pumpkin bread felt like sharing part of the
But
harvest.
pumpkin
a
bread
neighborly
seems
gesture
good.
wrapped in silver and memory.
Oh, it's similar to
Long after
cinnamon.
the
I
candy
like
was
cinnamon.
gone, the taste of that bread lingered as proof that Halloween was more than just sugar. It was homemade comfort passed hand to hand. Popcorn
Like, you can
balls
have that with
candy corn
coffee, you
inside.
know? Wait,
Popcorn
candy
balls were
corn.
already a
All right,
second classic.
wait. Pause. Whenever I ask people this question, they're either adverse to it or they like defend it with their life. Do you like candy corn? 1 for yes, 2 for no. Do you love candy corn? 1 for yes. It always seems like you love it or hate it kind of candy. Ooh, a bunch of ones. The candy pumpkins count because they kind of taste the same, right? Eh. It is so damn sweet, dude. It tastes like icing. Icing that's like solidified. Candy corn for moth doesn't need moth flakes. I can see where you say tastes like candle wax. It's one of those like kind of like cinnamon rolls where you eat it like once a year for me. And then that's enough. Like just to try it, like a small bag that you can get. Like down the aisle before you check out at the grocery store. Like I'll humor it, you know, like those they used to be like $1, like $1.50. But it's I don't know. Like I don't know what you'd use that for. It just tastes like icing.
Some mamas like to get creative. They'd
But
stir
a lot
up
of
the
you guys
sticky
like
syrup,
it.
pour it over popped corn, and then
No, I'm not
sneak in
saying they're
handfuls
compared to
of candy corn
cinnamon.
before rolling
It's
the
just like
mixture into
the
glowing
sweetness to
orbs.
me.
The orange, yellow, and white triangles
But mixing
peeked
it with
through the popcorn
popcorn?
like tiny jewels,
What?
making each ball look festive in the porch light. Kids never knew what they'd bite into first, a fluffy kernel or a chewy piece of candy corn. And that surprise was half the fun. Wrapped in wax paper, they looked like holiday ornaments, heavy in the hand and sticky on
I've
the
seen
fingers.
a lot of like
Candy
popcorn
corn may
bags with
divide
like
folks
candy
today, but back then,
Oreos.
it was a cheap, cheerful way to stretch a batch of popcorn balls
Do you
into
guys like
something even
sweet
more memorable.
popcorn? You know, other than
Finding
like
one in your
caramel
bag meant you
corn.
had a mama in your neighborhood who liked to go the extra mile, turning an ordinary Halloween treat into
I mean,
a
I guess I
sugary
would
treasure
try
hunt.
it.
Homemade
So
fudge
one.
squares.
Oh,
Fudge
fudge.
was the kind of candy that
fuck
made kids
nuts.
hover around the kitchen, noses pressed against the counter, while mama stirred sugar, butter, and cocoa into a bubbling mass. She had to watch it close, waiting for that precise
Junior
moment
mints
when
on
the mixture would
popcorn,
set just
man?
right. Not grainy, not too soft, but melt in your mouth.
I try this
perfect.
shit. I try this.
Once
Just don't
poured
put
into
nuts.
a buttered pan and cooled, she'd slice it into neat little squares, each one a solid block of Halloween happiness. Some mamas made peanut butter fudge, others swore by chocolate, and the bold ones added marshmallows or walnuts.
Marshmallows?
Trick-or-treaters got them wrapped in wax paper twists, each piece heavy in the hand and worth
Yeah,
its
those
weight
are
in sugar.
sweet.
Unlike
So
store-bought
condensed in
candy,
like
fudge
sugar,
had personality.
dude.
No two batches ever turned out quite the same. It was the candy of patience.
You
and
had it a
precision,
lot
the kind that separated a practiced
when you were
hand from a
younger.
careless
Aw,
one.
that's such a sweet
On the
nostalgic
playground
treat
the
then.
next day, a square of fudge was good as gold. The kind of treat you didn't just eat. You bragged about it first, then savored every bite like a secret. Cider donuts. If you were
Donuts.
lucky enough to have a mama who fried cider donuts for Halloween, you knew what fall really tasted like. She'd
These are like
stir apple
cakey,
cider
right?
into the dough, adding cinnamon and nutmeg until the kitchen smelled like an orchard in October.
Oh, that smells
Dough was
good.
rolled, cut, and slipped into hot oil.
You guys were
The
talking
sizzle
about this
filling your room
earlier.
as golden rings bobbed to the surface. Fresh from the pan, each donut got rolled in cinnamon sugar, leaving your fingers
One
coated in sticky
smash.
crystals before
I
you
still have to
even
do a
took the
smash or
first bite.
pass with you all.
They were warm,
Smash or
fragrant,
pass.
and heavy enough to carry in paper sacks for trick-or-treating, though most kids
These are
ate theirs
booze?
right on the spot. Sometimes Mama piled them into baskets on the porch, and kids passing by would grab one with wide eyes
Smash. I
and
want to
powdered
try it.
sugar smiles.
I want to try it.
The real magic was how fast they disappeared. By the time the last
I tried
trick-or-treater
donut
left,
hole.
only the smell of apples and frying oil lingered in the air. More than candy,
I like donut
they were a
holes.
fleeting moment of fall you wished would last just a little longer.
They're my favorite
Cinnamon
holes.
candy apples. While caramel apples were sweet and buttery, cinnamon
Cinnamon
candy
apples?
were their fiery cousins. Glossy, crimson, and sharp enough to make your eyes water. Mama would boil sugar, corn syrup, and cinnamon flavoring until it turned into a bubbling
I don't know if I'd
cauldron of
smash
molten
this. This
red.
feels like this would hurt my
Apples were
teeth.
dipped and set aside to cool. Their
Nah.
shiny shells hard as glass.
I
Biting into one
I
was an
wouldn't eat
adventure.
this one.
First the crunch, then the wave of cinnamon heat, followed by the crisp apple beneath. They left your lips tingling, your tongue
Hey,
stained
why'd you
red,
hit me?
and sometimes even chipped a tooth if you weren't careful. Wrapped
didn't
in
do
wax
nothing to you.
paper or perched on a stick, they looked like jewels in the lamplight, daring kids to take them on. Mamas didn't make them often, which made them feel rare, almost forbidden, like something out of a fairy tale.
Hey, Dante,
Getting one in your
101
Halloween sack
double.
wasn't just a treat.
I can
It was proof
explain.
you'd braved
I was talking
one of
about
the
donut
boldest
holes.
sweets on the block. Gingerbread cookies, cut into pumpkins and bats. Halloween didn't always mean orange frosting and plastic sprinkles. Sometimes it meant a tray of
Oh, that's why
gingerbread
you
cookies
I was being.
shaped into pumpkins.
Oh, look, it looks like
bats,
I have a
and
hat.
cats. Mama rolled out spiced dough on the kitchen table, flour
Oh.
dusting her apron as she pressed tin cutters into the sheet. The cookies baked until the whole
You
house
calibrate.
smelled like molasses, cinnamon, and ginger.
Whoa.
Once cooled, they might get a simple
There you go, so
powdered
you can
sugar
see it now.
glaze or a few raisins pressed in for eyes. They weren't the frosted showpieces
Okay,
of modern
smash.
bakeries,
I'll
but they
smash
carried the
this one.
flavor of fall
Smash.
in every bite. Trick-or-treat
Smash.
bags rattled with their crisp edges, and kids couldn't help sneaking one on the walk home.
I like gingerbread
Some families
cookies.
baked them by the hundreds for church socials, packing them into tins and baskets
Do
to
you
share.
know the
A
muffin
gingerbread
man?
bat might not look like much,
The
but in
muffin
the
man.
South, it was the taste of October wrapped in sugar and spice. The kind of cookie that felt like home no matter where you ate it.
But
Caramel corn.
I'm not gonna lie though. Every time I've tried gingerbread cookies, they're always so fucking hard. Like, are they always that hard? Like, it'd be nice if they were a little soft, you know, a little soft in the middle. Not like a really hard dog treat.
Corn in paper cones. Every
They're
now
always
and
that
then,
hard?
a mama would skip the popcorn balls and go straight for caramel corn.
Oh,
baking
caramel
big
corn,
pans
smash,
of it until
smash.
it turned golden and crunchy. She'd pour the sticky mixture into paper cones made from cut-up grocery sacks, folding the ends so it wouldn't spill on the walk home. Each bite
You know those tins that have like 3 different flavored popcorn? I think they usually come out during the holidays. Honestly, I overlooked how like great of a gift that was. So simple. I remember when I saw they used to cost like $5. Weren't they like $5, chat? I bet they're like 25 now. Oh man. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna gift everybody popcorn tins. Yeah. Make it easier on me.
It was sweet, buttery, and just a little salty, with clusters that stuck in your teeth, no matter how careful you were.
I don't
Caramel
like stuff
corn
being
made
stuck.
the rounds at Halloween parties, church socials, and neighborhood porches, piling high in bowls that emptied faster than Mama could refill them. It was simple to make.
35 to 40
which
now
meant
for
no
those
kid left
popcorn
empty-handed.
tins?
The cones
I'm pretty
themselves
sure they used to be
became
like
part of the fun.
$5 or $10.
Crinkled brown paper dusted with sugar and grease, carried like a prize. Long after the candy was gone, you remembered the way your fingers smelled like buttered sugar, and how the night always felt warmer with a cone of caramel corn in hand.
Oh my god. See, do you guys, I don't know if I'm the only one here, but you know in the mall where they have these I think they have like nuts and popcorn and they have them into little cones shaped like this. I remember wanting to try them, but it was all nuts. It smells so good though. I've always wanted to try it, but I know if I did, I would probably choke and die. I don't want to do that. No, I've never tried Blue Protocol yet.
Prune or date pinwheels. Pinwheel cookies didn't scream Halloween the way popcorn balls did, but they had a quiet magic all their own. Mama rolled out a sheet of spiced dough, spread it with a thick layer of prune or date, cooked down with sugar and cinnamon.
I don't want to date.
And rolled the whole thing into a log. Once sliced and baked, each cookie came out a perfect little spiral. Half dough,
It's
half
pretty,
fruit,
but no.
all sweet nostalgia. They weren't flashy, but the chewy filling tasted like autumn in the South, when dried fruits made their way back into kitchens just as the weather cooled. Pinwheels were the kind of treat you didn't gobble. You nibbled, letting the spice
She's in
stick to your
Gimme
teeth while
Guild.
the dough
That's
crumbled
cool.
in your hand. Some kids grumbled about the old lady fruit.
What
but
is
the
that? Wait, what was that drink? What was that drink?
teeth while the dough crumbled in your hand. Some kids
What's that? Craze? Craze? That's soda? They better not be beer or alcohol, child.
grumbled
They better
about
not
the
be.
old lady fruit, but the grown-ups always made sure a few disappeared before the bags left the porch. They were a reminder that Halloween wasn't just about sugar highs. It was about tradition, thrift, and the little ways mamas tried making special memories. Rock candy crystals.
Oh,
Long before fancy candy shops
Smash!
sold rainbow
Smash!
sticks, rock
These
candy
still
was a simple
exist,
science
right?
experiment turned
Please tell me they
Halloween
still
treat.
exist.
Mama would boil sugar water until it was thick as syrup.
Cause
strings or sticks in
Japanese
jars,
candy, they have
leaving them on the
conpeto.
counter for
I like
crystals to
those.
form.
I like those.
Days later, jagged shards
like
of
more
candy
soft.
clung to the strings like diamonds, sparkling under the kitchen light. Sometimes she tinted the syrup with food coloring, orange for pumpkins, purple for witches, though most batches stayed clear, like icicles you could eat. Getting a stick of rock candy in your Halloween sack felt like treasure, something too pretty to eat right away.
I remember
Kids would
having
lick
mine
them
for the
slowly,
first time. I was
watching
like,
the
oh,
crystals
I gotta be
dissolve one
careful. I don't
shard
want
at
to
a
lose a
time,
tooth.
turning their tongues raw with sugar. It wasn't a treat you could find in stores. It was born from patience, curiosity, and a mama who believed candy could be both sweet and a little bit magical. Buttered popcorn in brown bags. Not every Southern Halloween was built
So
on
much
sugar.
popcorn.
Sometimes, mamas handed out plain old buttered popcorn.
Yeah, that's what
poured
St.
hot
Quartz
from
is
the
based
skillet
on.
into little brown paper bags. The butter
I probably
soaked
need
through
like an
before you
emote of
even
me
made it
eating
home,
St. Quartz.
leaving greasy fingerprints on your costume and a smell that followed you down the street. It was simple, salty, and cheap, but kids didn't complain. After a night of sweets, something warm and savory hit the spot. At school the next day, kids would compare bags, some with just a sprinkle of salt, others with so much butter you could see it pooling in the bottom. Mamas liked it because it filled bellies without emptying the sugar jar, and it kept hungry trick-or-treaters satisfied until supper. It wasn't glamorous, But the crinkle of a butter-stained paper sack became one of those small southern sounds that told you Halloween had truly arrived. Spiced applesauce cake squares. If you grew up
I
in the
would
South,
try.
there was
I
always
would
one
try it.
neighbor who baked for every holiday.
Applesauce,
And at
though, by
Halloween,
itself,
it was
no.
often applesauce
I'll try
cake.
this.
Mama
Smash.
would stir applesauce into a spiced batter, heavy with cinnamon, nutmeg, and clove, then pour it into a big pan
I don't know
to
what
bake.
clove is. What's
Once cooled,
clove?
she cut it into neat squares, dusted each piece with powdered sugar, and wrapped them tight in wax paper. The cake was moist and fragrant, with a warmth that candy just couldn't touch. Sometimes raisins or nuts made their way in, giving each square a little chew or crunch. Trick-or-treat bags
Is the longest
sagged under the weight
you've
of them.
heard someone
Kids
with this
rarely
voice say
minded.
mama?
Those squares
There's
were
nothing
rich
wrong
enough
with
to
that.
count as dessert and supper all in
I
one.
love our
They
mamas.
weren't flashy, but they stuck with
I
you.
love our mamas
A
and
quiet
papas.
reminder that not every Halloween treat
Is it
has to
spice?
sparkle to feel like gold.
Because when I hear clove, I
Toasted
think of
pumpkin
like
seeds.
garlic.
While jack-o'-lanterns were being
pass.
carved, another southern Halloween tradition took shape on the stove. Toasted
Pass. I'm
pumpkin
not
seeds.
burb. Sorry.
Mama would scoop them straight from the pumpkin guts, rinse off the stringy pulp, and spread them on a pan with salt and a drizzle of oil. The oven turned them golden and crunchy,
I don't like salty snacks.
filling the kitchen with a nutty, earthy smell that was as much a part of Halloween as candlelit pumpkins glowing on the porch. Kids popped them like peanuts, shells and all, until their lips burned with salt.
You see,
Some
that's why I don't
mamas
like
added
salty
garlic or
foods. It's
paprika,
like
but
your
most
lips just
stuck with
hurt.
the plain kind, served in bowls that never lasted long. They weren't candy, but they tied Halloween straight
Sigh,
to the
my grandma
harvest.
loves doing this.
Proof that
Yeah, but
even
your
the
grandma's
scraps of a pumpkin
precious.
could turn into a snack worth fighting over. In a night filled with sugar, they were the savory bite that made everything else taste even sweeter. Molasses cookies.
Molasses cookies?
Molasses cookies were as southern as sweet tea, and at Halloween
One,
they showed up
smash,
warm, chewy,
smash.
and dusted with sugar that
I'll try
crackled
it.
under your teeth. Mama mixed dark molasses with spices, rolled the
Isn't that
dough
just
into
like
balls,
brown sugar?
and pressed them flat before sliding them into the oven. The smell was
I don't know anything
unmistakable,
about baking.
deep,
Isn't it
rich,
just
and a little
like
smoky,
brown sugar,
like
technically?
autumn itself baking in the kitchen. These
Yeah,
cookies
one
weren't the
smash.
flashy kind with sprinkles or frosting. They were sturdy, old-fashioned, and meant to last a few days in the cookie tin, though they rarely did.
Wait, molasses
Some
can
had
kill
crisp
you?
edges, others stayed soft in the middle. But either way, they stuck to your memory as much as your taste buds. Trick-or-treaters sometimes traded candy bars for them.
Dressed up as
Proof that a
traffic
homemade
cones?
cookie
That's
carried
funny.
more weight than anything from a wrapper. Eating one on Halloween night was like tasting a piece
Oh,
of
that's
Southern
cute.
history.
Is that like
Panucci
marshmallow and
candy,
fondant?
brown sugar fudge. While chocolate fudge hogged the spotlight,
I would
Panucci
try
was
it.
its humbler cousin, made with brown sugar, butter, and milk. It
Probably
set
not
into
too much,
soft,
though.
caramel-colored squares that melted almost
I've
the
not
second
heard
they
of
touched your
molasses
tongue.
flood BGN.
Mama whipped it until her arm ached, then poured it into pans to cool, cutting the slab into little blocks that gleamed in the lamplight. The flavor was warm and buttery, closer to toffee than chocolate, and it carried a
Toffee?
richness
Okay.
that felt old-fashioned even back then. Kids didn't always know what to make of it. Some thought it looked plain, but once you tried it, you were hooked. Wrapped in wax paper twists, the candy
never
had a
heard
way
of that.
sticking to your fingers, forcing you to lick the
Molasses
sweetness
flood?
clean. Panucci didn't
Sounds
shout
scary.
for attention, but those who loved it never forgot it, and it became one of those treats that whispered of southern kitchens long after the holiday passed. Cornmeal cookies.
Cornmeal
or granny
cookies?
cookies. Cornmeal cookies were the
Granny
kind of
cookies?
Halloween treat you only found if you had an
What's
older
this?
mama or grandmother in the kitchen. They were simple, made with pantry staples: cornmeal, sugar, butter, and a splash of vanilla.
Okay,
But they
seems simple.
baked
I'll
into
try
crisp,
it.
golden rounds with a crunch
Smash.
that set them apart from other cookies. Some folks called them granny cookies because they were the kind your grandmother always seemed to have cooling on a rack when you visited. The cornmeal gave them a faint nuttiness, a texture that crumbled but never quite melted.
You guys are
leaving a
such
little grit on your
history fanatics.
At
Love
Halloween,
it. Makes
Mama
sense for
stacked them
FGO
in
players.
tins or wrapped them in paper,
Respect your
handing
history.
them out by the handful. They didn't look like much, but the
I'd
flavor
try
carried a
this.
sense of home, the kind
They
of
look really
taste
thick,
that
though.
tied generations
So someone has to
together.
share with me.
Cornmeal cookies weren't showstoppers, but they had staying power. Quiet, sturdy reminders of a kitchen where nothing went to waste. Popcorn balls died with
More
food coloring.
popcorn.
Popcorn balls were already a Halloween staple, but some mamas liked to dress them up for the season. They'd stir the hot syrup as usual, but add drops
Okay,
of...
not gonna lie though, I didn't realize like how big popcorn was in Halloween history in terms of treats. Cause when I think popcorn balls, I feel like there's only one brand that really sells them, and truthfully, I don't see them anymore. And which is a shame because I remember being really excited to get my very first popcorn ball, and it wasn't until I was a little bit older. So it's extremely rare for me to see them. I don't know if anyone feels the same. It's always those like, you know, Starburst little crunch bag varieties, right? It's kind of sad. Like, look at all these homey treats. They're no longer part of our Halloween culture.
food coloring. Orange for pumpkins,
Treat?
green for goblins,
Treat?
sometimes even purple for witches.
Treat?
The result was a basket of glowing, jewel-toned spheres that looked more like decorations than something you could eat. Wrapped in wax paper, they peeked out of brown bags like little lanterns, each one heavy in the hand
Damn, Kira's
and
like,
sticky to the touch.
balls!
Kids loved guessing what color they'd get before biting in, though the taste was always the same mix of sweet syrup and crunchy corn. It was a thrifty way to make the holiday feel a little more
Brains.
magical.
That's
turning
cute.
an ordinary treat into something bright and unforgettable. In the glow of porch lights, those neon popcorn balls looked almost otherworldly, proof that even simple candy could carry a little Halloween mischief. Old-time pull candy, ribbon candy, or vinegar taffy.
Vinegar taffy?
Every
Does it
Southern
taste like
Halloween had
vinegar?
at least one neighbor who swore by old-time pull candy.
If it tastes
The
like it, I don't
glossy,
want it.
brittle sweets that snapped into shiny ribbons. Some made vinegar taffy, cooked until it reached a pale amber color, then pulled and twisted into ropes until it cooled hard as glass. Others turned out striped
Treat?
ribbon candy, each piece curled into shimmering waves that caught the light like stained glass. Making it was no easy job. Hot sugar scorched if you touched it too soon, and pulling it into shape took strength
Wait,
and
but
speed.
there are some candy
But when
shops
it
that do
worked,
this
The
still.
candy looked like something from a shop window.
I think it's
Too
actually
pretty to
sweet.
eat,
It doesn't
but too
actually
tempting to
taste like
resist. Kids
vinegar.
cracked the pieces with their teeth, letting
Yeah,
the shards
okay, I'd
dissolve
try it.
slowly until only a trace of sweetness lingered. Pull candy wasn't an everyday treat. It was a labor
Treat?
of love. The kind of candy that reminded everyone Halloween was as much about tradition as
Now I think that we have to restart this whole video, and every time he says treat, I go treat.
it was about sugar. Sorghum taffy. In parts of the
still
South
one.
where
I'll
sorghum
try
syrup was plentiful, Halloween meant sorghum
What's
taffy
sorghum?
pulls. Mama would cook the syrup down with sugar until it was bubbling thick, then pour it out to cool just enough for pulling. Buttered hands grabbed the sticky ropes, stretching and folding them until the candy turned lighter and glossy. The taste was strong, earthy, and a little smoky. Nothing like today's store-bought sweets. Kids either loved it or wrinkled their noses, but no one forgot it.
Wrinkled their
The taffy
noses
stuck
like
to
this.
teeth and pulled loose
I don't know
fillings,
if I do that. I
but
want
it
to
carried the
sneeze.
flavor of the land itself, a candy born of cane fields and hard work. Peanut butter kisses, homemade taffy
pass.
candies. Before
Peanut
the
butter.
wax-wrapped Mary Janes showed up in grocery bags,
Mary Janes.
mamas made their own peanut butter kisses. Sugar syrup was boiled until hot enough to pull, then
Messiah, you
stretched
don't
around
have. Yeah, I do.
spoonfuls of creamy peanut
I have a
butter,
nose.
forming chewy little nuggets. Wrapped in wax paper twists, they stuck together in the candy bowl and
Oh my god, what are you doing? You
kids
stop!
complained even as they reached for seconds,
Rude.
because the salty sweet flavor was irresistible once you started chewing. They were humble candies, born from thrift, but on Halloween night they felt like a prize, messy, sticky, and entirely unforgettable. Apple cider hard candy drops. Some mamas boiled apple cider with sugar until it reduced into a deep amber syrup, then poured it into little molds or dropped it by spoonfuls onto buttered pans. Once cooled, the candies hardened into sharp, glassy drops with a tangy apple bite.
Pass.
They clinked against each other in jars and rattled in paper bags like treasure. Each one carried the flavor of orchards
I don't know,
and
I'm scared of
crisp
cutting my
October
mouth
air,
with how sharp those
condensed
look.
into a single shard. They weren't common since they took time and patience, but if you found one in your Halloween sack, you knew somebody's mama had gone the extra mile. Sweet potato pie squares. Sometimes, instead of candy, neighbors baked trays of sweet potato pie, slicing them
changing
into
a setting.
tiny
I want
squares
to
for
test it.
trick-or-treaters. The filling was
Let's see.
smooth and spiced, baked on a flaky crust that crumbled in your fingers. Each piece got wrapped in wax paper or foil, a portable version of the pie that showed up on nearly every Southern holiday table. Sweet potato pie wasn't flashy, but it was the flavor of home, warm, earthy, and comforting. Kids devoured
I'm
them
playing around with
quickly,
the bongs.
barely noticing the chill in the air as they
I'm
walked from
adjusting
house
some
to house.
settings.
Getting pie on Halloween was a reminder that homemade generosity always outshone anything in a wrapper. Maple sugar candy. Though maple syrup wasn't as common in the Deep South, plenty of mamas with a jug tucked away in the pantry turned it into maple sugar candy. Syrup was boiled down and poured into little molds,
did this.
often leaves, acorns, or pumpkins, where it hardened into creamy, melt-in-your-mouth shapes. The candies carried a flavor both sweet and woodsy, unlike anything you could buy in a store. They were fragile, dissolving the second they hit your tongue, but their memory lasted long after Halloween night. Maple sugar candy was a rare treat, but it tied the harvest season to the holiday in a way nothing else quite could. Halloween today might sparkle with neon wrappers and plastic pumpkins, but back then, it was stitched together with wax paper, brown bags, and a whole lot of mama's love. Every popcorn ball, praline, or spiced cake square carried the taste of Southern kitchens that worked with what they had and somehow made magic out of it. These weren't just treats.
I don't like sweet
They were
potato.
traditions, passed from porch to porch,
Pass.
from sticky fingers to smiling faces. So maybe the caramel stuck in your teeth, or the taffy glued your jaw shut.
I'm not too
But the
huge on
memory
maple
sweetened
either.
over the years. And that's why these old-fashioned Halloween treats linger in our minds long after the candy's gone. Which of these did you grow up with? And which one do you wish you
None
could
of
taste
them.
again?
I didn't
Drop
grow
your
up with
memories
any
down
of
in the
them.
comments. I'd love to hear them. And if you're feeling extra nostalgic,
I had a
go ahead
popcorn
and
ball
share this video with
once.
someone who remembers when Halloween
And it's
smelled
because
like
I
molasses
trick or
and
treated in an
cinnamon instead of
area I'm
plastic
not from.
wrappers. Because in the end, the best treats weren't just eaten, they were remembered.
Treat? Treat? Great video. Great video. Thank you so much for sharing. Nostalgic Calling. Like, comment, and
Do you remember those
subscribe to their
groceries?
videos, guys.
Remember
Thank
when
you.
Halloween, October, wrap
Like this, and bye-bye. Bye-bye. Which was your favorite treat? Huh? Which one did you grow up with? Let me know down below. Let me know. Which one did you pass? Which one did you smash?